Okay, Ballet Africa is set to captivate audiences at the Baxter stage with its exciting inaugural season, featuring a triple bill of ballets by renowned South African choreographers Kirsten Isenberg, Mthuthuzeli November and Michelle Reid. So the production, entitled Salt, highlights the importance of developing and showcasing new South African choreographic works. This innovative initiative promises to bring fresh perspectives and artistic excellence to the world of ballet. And so to tell us a little bit more, we are joined by founder and creative director of Cape Ballet Africa, Debbie Turner. Debbie, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the SABC at this hour.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're certainly in for an exciting show. I mean, the triple threats that obviously has been added this time around. Perhaps you could tell us more about the inspiration behind Salt and how it ties into our daily existence at large.
Well, you know, dance has always been a huge part of the South African environment, particularly in the city of Cape Town and the big cities in the country. And I've been a dance person for all my life. And prior to Cape Ballet Africa, was the CEO of Cape Town City Ballet, and prior to that, the Cape Dance Company. So, you know, I mean, dance is a living language that is constantly evolving and changing globally. And South African choreographers are extremely talented, get to do a lot of work internationally, but not so much in South Africa. So this ballet company was formed 4 months ago, and I invited 3 of the choreographers that I've worked with for a very, very long time to create something brand new, which is what they have done in 3 very, very different styles, but rooted in the traditional techniques of classical ballet, but very, very much for the 21st century. So that goes up in, 12 weeks' time, which is very exciting. 12 beautiful dancers, all South African. And yes, our opening night is the 21st of September at the Baxter Theatre.
Debbie, thank you for those opening remarks, because speaking about dance being a living universal language, perhaps you could speak to the themes, the messages Salt is going to be exploring, how it also resonates with the audience at this juncture.
Well, you know, I chose the title Salt for this inaugural triple bill because, you know, salt is it's earthy, it's a preservative, and that was the key initiative in terms of me calling the production something that was that would resonate with everybody. Everybody uses salt in their everyday life. Dance is a part, I think, of everybody's everyday life in terms of music, and because, you know, when you're moving, you're dancing. And so I love the aspect of the preservative nature of salt itself, and the fact that it was so earthy and so grounded. And so, you know, with it being the start of something brand new, and it has a very special feeling about it, really, for all of us, because it almost feels like we're going back to the beginning and we're creating something that can be the beginning of our truly South African voice with the choreographers that are involved. And so there's 3 completely different works with different feelings, different types of music, and we're almost ready to go on the stage, actually. And yeah, so
well, Debbie,
so Salt is. Yes.
Debbie, I mean, just speaking about, you know, the preservative agent that salt is, it was a commodity at some point, and fusing the 3 different, styles and choreography as well. Choreographers, talk to us about the challenges that you would have faced in bringing this production to life, seen as you're almost ready to go. How did you overcome them?
Well, you know, I mean, dancers essentially the world over want to dance. So in actual fact, besides, you know, I mean, birthing a new company, I don't want to say that there have been that many challenges. You know, what dance does face in the performing arts, and I think the creative sector in general, is funding your projects. I mean, that really is the most challenging thing in South Africa. But We were very, very fortunate to have seed funding, and the dancers, I approached them about this new project that was going to happen, and they were there in a heartbeat, and especially because it was going to be something new. So in terms of challenges, there aren't actually that many if the intention behind a project is truly, we want to achieve this. The dancers start work every morning at 10 o'clock. They do their preparation of 1.5 hours of ballet class, and then we get to work. And it is it's wonderful. It's this very exciting sort of I don't want to call it a factory, but it's like a lab. You've got your choreographer who comes with their energy, their ideas, and your dancers that are ready to go on the journey with the choreographer. And magic happens in front of my eyes. My office happens to be sort of right in the studio, and magic happens in front of one's eyes. And dancers create with the choreographer. A stimulus is given, and dancers respond, and it's a magical process, and it's very, very exciting to watch. By its very nature, dance tends to be a youth project in that all the dancers are under the age of 35. They're highly athletic,
yes,
highly skilled, highly trained, and there's just this incredible creative energy that is in the room all day. And so sometimes it's hard for me to focus on the stuff I need to do because I'm so drawn into the creative process. And I step onto the floor quite often, as an assistant to the choreographer, and put my 5 cents worth in, and especially when they need a sounding board or something.
Yes.
So that it has been incredibly exciting with very, very few challenges thus far.
Debbie, perhaps you could, is there behind the scene moment that stands out for you? Any interesting anecdotes, just because you spoke about this collaboration process and what's emerging from rehearsal process itself? Anything that stands out for you?
One of the most sort of almost moving things that we do, and we do every single Friday and sometimes more often, is we do a check-in circle at the end of the day. And this was actually introduced by the choreographer Mthuthuzeli November, who is, South African born and raised and trained, but he lives in London. He was with us for 3 weeks, and every week we sit in a circle on the floor and we check in with one another. How was the week for you? And the dancers and staff actually feedback in a very open and honest way about, well, Tuesday was challenging because we did this particular section or that particular section, or it's a style that I don't feel as comfortable with as in the other style of work. And it feels very, very personal and intimate in the most healthy way, to just check in mentally with how everybody is doing. Because, we all have lives outside of what we do in the studio. And sometimes just, I had to take my dog to the vet, or, it's just important to mentally check in with one another to make sure that we're all bringing our best selves.
Yes.
And people are open to saying, it wasn't my best week, or I had a brilliant week this week. And it's actually really, really good for me too, because having been in this industry for a very long time, it wasn't the nature of being in the industry
Debbie.
20 years ago. It just wasn't.
All right, Debbie, I'm going to have to leave that conversation there for now, but thank you for sharing the story. Certainly looking forward to that offering. Debbie Turner, Director of Ballet Africa, chatting to us about their latest offering, the inaugural season of Salt that will be running at the Baxter Theatre.